Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you on this September 29th, 2025. I got all your stories for your rush hour ride to work. Big updates coming from the Rapture. Turns out they got the dates wrong. It's happening in October. I'll share that for those looking to levitate the hell out of here. I understand it's a Monday. I don't want to be here either. But we got the Ryder Cup. The U.S. lost to Europe. And I guess Rory McIlroy was not happy with the conduct of those that were cheering and jeering. We'll share what he has to say. And then we got Blake Lively versus Baldoni, a big update. I know we've shared a lot of different updates, but this is a big one. It is a motion filed by Baldoni's legal team, motion for judgment on the pleadings, basically saying, hey, have you seen enough, Judge? Can we get this thing dismissed with prejudice? I'll explain what all of that means from one idiot to another. And then we've got Donald Trump, the president of the United States, sharing an AI video, a fake video of a reporter. Typical, this is truly fake news because it didn't actually happen, sharing a new healthcare plan. So we've moved from concepts of a healthcare plan to AI of a healthcare plan. And then we got the new announcement of who's going to be performing at the next Super Bowl, hopefully with my New England Patriots, although I don't know. They're only 2-2, but hey, a boy can dream, right? Well, I'll tell you what, it's not Taylor Swift. I'll explain and reveal which pop star will be hopping onto the stage at the Super Bowl. It's Bad Bunny. Okay, so you really snuck that one in there. All these stories and more starts right now on The Rush. Let's start with this. New York City prepares to phase out Central Park horse carriages by 2026. Listen, this is a good thing. Why the hell do we have these horses hoofing around in 100-degree weather, a bunch of tourists getting charged $25 a minute to have a horse, drop its bowels right in front of you? The times are different, get on the e-scooters like everyone else and save the horses. You know what I mean? They don't belong in Central Park. There, I've said it. You can agree to disagree on that one. I'm here for the people, not the horses. Bad Bunny announced as the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show performer. He said, "This is for my people, my culture, and our history." I have to tell you, if you don't know who Bad Bunny is, you're officially old. That's how you know you've become old. When you stop knowing who the halftime show is at the Super Bowl. Or if you're like my sister, you get offended when, Jennifer Lopez gyrates in a unitard in her 50s. You know what I mean? My kids couldn't even watch. He's like, let them watch. Give them the birds and the bees talk. You know what I mean? So either way, we'll be happy for him there. So here it is. The Rapture was supposed to be on September 23rd and 24th. But when you convert it to the Gregorian calendar, it'll actually be the first week of October. So this is Brother Joshua. He's the one who went viral in the first place for Rapture talk. I'm all here for it. A lot of people had egg on the face after they sold their earthly possessions and the rapture didn't happen. I'm here to tell you, go keto, drop a couple pounds, maybe you'll levitate faster. Have a listen to the update.
And the 24th of September. That's why I said earlier, when you said you got confused, I'm 1,000,000,000% sure that the rapture is going to happen on the 23rd and the 24th of September 2025. But when you cross over straight from this Feast of Trumpets to our Gregorian calendar, it will put you on the 7th and the 8th of October.
There it is. He's still 1,000,000,000% sure. You got to cross over from the Feast of Trumpets to the Gregorian calendar, meaning the rapture's happening October 7th and 8th. There you go. And by the way, if you do plan on being rapturized, I don't know what the term, and by the way, the rapture's not real. It was created, in the 1700s because people stopped caring about church, so they tried to find new meaning in it. But no mention of it in the Bible, just misinterpreted Bible verses. But isn't that half the Bible anyway? Misinterpreted Bible verses? All right, don't get mad at me. I didn't write the dang thing or rewrite it. Looking at you, King James. All right, Jesus didn't have blue eyes, is what I'm trying to say. Come on, he had surfer hair and blue eyes and ripped abs, okay? All right, let's move it on. I just pissed off some people. Jesus did have blue eyes. Okay, sure, bro. He was born in America. All right. Whitney Carson of Dancing with the Stars wants Dancing with the Stars partner Robert Irwin for the reality show The Bachelor. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. It says, if I could line you all up with Robert, I would, because you're all 10 out of 10 perfect cuties, the dance pro told fans. Can we get this guy on The Bachelor? Can we do that? Can we make this? I don't know if we I don't know if we have the cachet to make this happen. The Bachelor, because listen, Robert Irwin, he's too wholesome for the Netflix shows, right? The Too Hot to Handle. He's too wholesome to handle. Put him on The Bachelor, shine him up, those dimples, and he's Jesus Christ. I don't know. Is this blasphemy? I'm kidding, folks. Come on, but he's nice guy, either way, crushing it on Dancing with the Stars, having never danced before. He's got good footwork from wrangling crocodiles, and maybe he can wrangle the ladies on another ABC franchise show, The Bachelor. A boy can dream. All right, let's move it on. Here it is. This is Rory McIlroy. He's setting up his shot, getting ready to hit the ball, and then he tells some audience members at the Ryder Cup to STFU. Have a listen.
That bunker's looking tasty.
Guys, shut the fuck up.
So someone yells, that bunker is looking tasty, implying he's about to hit it into the sand, and he tells them to go shut the front door. And here's what he had to say afterwards about the unbecoming nature of the rowdy fans disrespecting the sport.
I think we should ever accept that in golf. I think golf should be held to a higher standard than what was seen out there this week. Golf has the ability to unite people. Golf teaches you very good life lessons. It teaches you etiquette. It teaches you how to play by the rules. It teaches you how to respect people. And sometimes this week we didn't see that. So,
all right. And again, a lot of the comments were like, yeah, he's got a point. You don't disrespect the game. Shut it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm just, if you can't handle getting heckled a little bit, refine your game a little bit is what I'm trying to say. Okay. I tell you what, let's reset the deck. I've got it all for you. I really do. I've got it all for you. Here's the case. Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. I'll share what the Wayfair party's sort of a summary of what they are asking the judge to do. They're saying, make a judgment. Well, you've seen all of this in the pleadings. Can we make a judgment now? Can we throw this thing out? I'll have this story for you after a quick word from our sponsor. Today's episode of the Rush Hour Podcast is sponsored by Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one of my favorites. Ooh, are they delicious. Start your day with a protein-packed breakfast from Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Oh, you thought they only had delicious smoothie options? You're mistaken. Pair that smoothie with a toasted breakfast wrap, order ahead online, and earn rewards with the Tropical Smoothie Cafe app. Like to customize things? Add more good vibes to your smoothie. Fresh add-ins like almonds, spinach and kale, chia seeds, or supplements like protein and Energizer. My favorite smoothie is the Peanut Paradise, chock full of 22 grams of protein. My wife loves the mixed berry Greek yogurt bowl topped with fresh strawberries and blueberries, which comes with a whopping 26 grams of protein. Make every day a getaway with our bold flavors and better for you pairings only at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Tropical Smoothie Cafe, you're on Tropic Time now. Now back to the show. So before I get to the summary, the motion for judgment on the pleadings that the Wayfair parties have filed, we'll get to that in a second. This article has gone sort of viral over the weekend. Ryan Reynolds reveals shocking insult he hurled at Blake Lively over call from A-list celebrity. Now, as you probably know, I'm here to sort of tone down the clickbait. This article seemed pretty interesting on the face value here from the title alone. What, he's swearing at Blake Lively? This is insane. But again, it's him resharing a story about how he was able to get Bill Murray to be a part of his documentary. So he tells the audience, hey, so basically how it goes down is he had a very hard time contacting Bill Murray. And as he's talking to the audience, he left voicemail after voicemail, and he tells the audience that finally Bill Murray called back. Funny, I'm on my my way to some gala thing, and I rarely go to a fancy tuxedo event. I'm there with my wife, Blake Lively. We're about to walk in, and my phone buzzes, and I look at it. It says Bill Murray, and I go, Bill Murray, lowering his voice as if he was reenacting, whispering to Blake. He continued, she goes, we have to go in. And I'm like, F you. He revealed, spilling the derogatory insult he said to his wife. It is unclear which gala Ryan was referring to. The audience erupted in laughter, and Ryan continued his story of his initial phone call with Bill Murray. All right, so he was making a joke. You know, I hate it when someone gives up information, you know, sharing a funny moment, and then people use it as, oh, see, he's telling his wife to go F herself. Maybe that happened, maybe it didn't, but, you know, it's up to her to decide if she wants to throw her ring at him. You know, the Bill Murray thing's actually interesting. You know, he gets, you know, he's got that weird aura about him where everyone who works with Bill Murray says he's an asshole, just like Chevy Chase. Everybody says these guys are assholes. But audiences love Bill Murray. And, you know, again, he's just become this iconic character, but he has a voicemail line. So if you want to get in touch with Bill Murray, no matter who you are, Steven Spielberg, Ryan Reynolds, it doesn't matter. You got to go through the voicemail line. Ryan Reynolds needed him to be a part of his documentary, left him 40 voice messages. So at least we know Ryan Reynolds, very ambitious out there. Is he ambitious enough to win a court case he shouldn't win? We'll have to see. But again, and you have to be fair, right? I call it calling balls and strikes. You have to be fair. So was this article really about Ryan slinging a insult, telling his wife to go F off? I mean, I don't know. I think it's a little much ado about nothing. So rather than read for you the 32-page motion with all the legalese and nonsense I don't know too much about, I threw this motion into ChatGPT here to get an update about what it actually means. And here is the 5-sentence version for you. Blake Lively is suing over alleged harassment on the set of It Ends With Us, in a supposed smear campaign when the movie came out. The studio and Justin Baldoni just asked the judge to throw the whole case out. So that's what the motion for summary judgment is by Baldoni. Judge, will you throw this whole thing out? They argue California laws don't apply because everything happened in New York and New Jersey. Lively never filed the right paperwork with the labor board, and nothing she describes counts as retaliation since she wasn't fired or demoted. They also say the smear campaign was just PR during the film's release, not workplace retaliation, and that any public statements were legally protected. In short, the defendants want the judge to dismiss all of Lively's claims. There it is. That's it. And it seems to me, not knowing much about this process, that this motion for, I said motion for summary judgment. It's the motion for judgment on the pleadings. I apologize. Please, all the lawyers out there, put down your gavels. Don't come at me. This was the motion for judgment on the pleadings. But this was, I guess at any time you could ask the judge to make a judgment. I don't know if they have to. They could just say, you know, F off, or let's see more information. But I think, as far as I can tell, lawyers can write in, this is a way for them to give the judge a moment to say, listen, it's not whether I think you did X, Y, and Z. It's whether or not, this is breaking from some sort of, legal, they're right. If all this took place in New York and Blake Lively is trying to, make her claims, about things that happen in California, or vice versa, then, you could argue, what are we even doing here? And that's the dumb way of explaining it. Judge, what are we even doing here? You're all right. Throw it out. Let's go get ready for Bad Bunny's halftime show. So let's go to a smarter person than me, little girl attorney. Here's what she has to say about the motion for judgment on the pleadings.
Someone might want to file a motion for judgment on the pleadings before a summary judgment because they want to narrow down the claims that legally have no basis to be before the court. They want to narrow those down and only get to the claims that have a potential factual dispute that discovery would reveal, and that would be ripe for a trial, or not even a factual dispute, but that evidence would be needed to dispute what is in a complaint.
Right. So that's exactly what I was trying to explain. She just did a better job of it. This is the Wayfair party saying, before we even get to the actual evidence stuff, can we just throw this thing out already? The dispute doesn't even meet the standard in which we can, have this, trial go forward.
So a summary judgment motion would allow you to bring in evidence about things that you've discovered through discovery and evidence to prove your legal claims The motion for judgment on the pleadings doesn't allow you to show any evidence. So you're simply saying, based off of what they have alleged, they cannot bring these claims legally. Another reason why a party might want to bring a MJOP is because they want to preserve the arguments for appeal. So bringing these legal arguments now about how the claims fail as a matter of law preserves their ability to raise those issues later on appeal. So if there is a adverse order on this, let's say this motion is denied, then this could be something that the Wayfair parties could appeal.
So some people, I guess, think this is bigger than others. I think it's a pretty big deal. The judge could literally end this thing right now. But, honestly, I'd like to see this thing go to trial because I don't want this to end on some sort of technicality, like she, pled in California, or she filed her, misconduct complaint in California, but the work was in New York. Forget all of that. As far as PR is concerned, get this thing in front of a jury trial. And again, this is obviously like not my money, but I'm like, let's go for it. Get this thing in front of a jury trial so that the world can understand what I believe, which is that Blake Lively overestimated her hand. She didn't have any real claims about harassment, and she tried to use whatever tools in her toolbox she could use to take control of the film, to take control of the edit, to take control of the rights. That's what it appears is the sort of simplest explanation of what went down, considering we haven't seen any evidence to the claim she's made against Justin. We just haven't. Doesn't mean it's not there. Willing to change my opinion if that happens, but that's where I stand. So I don't care if you send me a Mint Mobile sponsorship and give me money to promote Mint Mobile or whatever else is in our future. I have my opinions. I've made them known. It took me, whatever normal time it takes to get there, because we live in a world. Here's a problem, right? When I started covering this case, people they wanted me to fry Blake right away. And I said, let's just wait and see if she presents any evidence, right? What's the point of rushing? I said the same thing, Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. What's the point in rushing? Let's wait and see, for the Johnny Depp case. I wanted to wait till I heard for both people's, I wanted Johnny and I wanted Amber to both take the stand. I wanted them both to be cross-examined. I wanted to let the system play out. And here I've done the same thing. I've said, well, let's just wait for the depositions. Let's wait for any new receipts to come out, and they haven't. And I've made my opinion, which is, like I said just before, that Blake Lively has overplayed her hand here, and that she's really tried to end this guy's career over seemingly nothing. I mean, nothing. As far as we've seen, and if that information changes, so be it, we'll reevaluate. But until then, that's where I stand. All right, well, let's move it on to some other news. Very wild stuff going on here. This story going viral over the weekend. Donald Trump posted a completely AI-generated Fox News report where he announces med bed hospitals and that every American will soon receive their own med bed card. Hey, will this med bed card come in with our Doge refund check that we're getting, or those tariff refund checks that we're getting? I really want to be a winner out there. But of course, this, I believe, was posted then deleted by Trump. This is what's scary. What I'm about to share with you is not real. This is artificial intelligence creating news that didn't exist. That's not real. People will be duped by this. This is scary stuff. Have a listen.
Breaking now, President Donald J. Trump has announced a historic new healthcare system, the launch of America's first medbed hospitals and a national medbed card for every citizen.
Every American will soon receive their own medbed card. With it, you'll have guaranteed access to our new hospitals led by the top doctors in the nation, equipped with the most advanced technology in the world. These facilities are safe, modern, and designed to restore every citizen to full health and strength. This is the beginning of a new era in American healthcare.
In this first phase, only a limited number of medbed cards will be released. Registration details will be announced very soon.
Okay, so there it is. You can get your gold visa and you can get your MedBed card. Everything's good. Nothing to see here. This is ridiculous. And we all understand this is ridiculous. This is what's crazy to me. In the past, people forget Trump already was president for 4 years. I have talked about the broken healthcare system for a good amount of time now. It is so broken. It is, and it's only getting worse. It is only getting worse with this big, beautiful bill. People's premiums are set to go up. You out there, maybe you spend $400 or $500 a month. That might become $700, $800 a month. And what do you get? A whole bunch of nothing. Nothing when you really need it. I spent $1,300 a month for my wife and my baby and myself. And I had to go get a COVID test, and it cost me $600 because I was out of network. What the hell are we talking about? And Trump's only response is that he had concepts of a plan. Concepts of a plan ain't going to cut it. There are real plans that are out there to vote for universal health care. A system in which we can drive down the cost by getting everybody actually insured. Not this bullshit Obamacare, none of that. No, like a system where everyone pays their fair share. Everyone gets in it. It all exists. We already have it out there. I've got friends and family that say, oh, it wouldn't work. And it's like, well, Rich, for you to say you're a firefighter, you already have socialized health care. You know what I mean? We already have a system that should work, but it's broken because it's not a blanket coverage for everybody, right? The Veterans Affairs is broken because, it's underfunded. So they say these programs don't work, and it's because they're not fully realized. Universal health care is not fully realized. Certainly works for Congress, for senators. They get health care for life. They're doing just fine with it. What about for the rest of us? Well, now we can wait for our MedBed cards to arrive in the mail. I will not be holding my breath. All right, let's move it on from there. Interesting stuff, though. Here is J.D. Vance. Again, talking about they want to tone down the rhetoric after the Charlie Kirk shooter. They want to tone it down, but at the same time, they're using this opportunity to come after left-leaning ideology, even though left-leaning ideology wants nothing to do with violence, wants nothing to do, and people will argue, no, people on the left are so mean. That's anecdotal evidence that the algorithm has pulled up for you to go, see, people are bad in Portland. That's not the case. For the majority of people out there are not committing violent acts. If someone does something violent, they should go through the system and get charged and, all of that stuff. Here's what J.D. Vance has to say.
There's no unity with the people who celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination. And there is no unity with the people who fund these articles, who pay the salaries of these terrorist sympathizers, who argue that Charlie Kirk, a loving husband and father, deserved a shot to the neck because he spoke words with which they disagreed.
Now, listen, people are allowed to have that opinion. I don't think he deserved it at all. I think he's entitled to his free speech and shouldn't have been assassinated over it. But are we really going to come after people as like terrorist sympathizers? What are we talking about? So now we're taking people's free speech that Charlie Kirk would have wanted people to have, right? Because you can't separate good speech from bad speech. Speech is speech, as long as it doesn't incite violence. If someone claps because someone else died, they're a monster human. But that shouldn't mean that you should come after them, defund them, all of these other things. That's where it gets murky. See, it's murky because it's an attempt to link the killing to progressive causes and groups, and he's raising fears that it seeks to use the killing as false justification to further crack down on political speech in opposition politics in the U.S. I think it's pretty wild stuff out there. Who's going to be the arbiter of what's, terroristic speech or not? Isn't that the big question? So when he says left is bad, what is he talking about? Who is he talking about? And again, will it be if you follow maybe on your Instagram an account that is left-leaning? Where will the line be, and who will be the one to judge where that line is? I think it's a dangerous time out there for free speech, and it's being tested right now. Well, here is a Republican friend of Donald Trump, Dana White, talking about being a believer in free speech.
I'm a big believer in free speech, and unfortunately, probably the most important speech to protect is hate speech.
You're not a fan of cancel culture?
No, I hate it. On both sides. It's like all the stuff that's going on with Charlie right now. You know, these people are going out and saying stuff, and, you know, you're seeing people getting fired or kicked out of school.
You don't think they should be fired?
I think you're a disgusting human being if you're celebrating the death of another human being. But people make mistakes, and people are going to do dumb things. I don't like trying to destroy people's lives over doing something dumb.
You know, it's very interesting take that I'm actually surprised to hear. It's rational. It's rational. And, you know, after the shooting of 2 weeks ago, we continue to talk about it because we have this sort of mass PTSD from it. Where we're forced to acknowledge how fragile life really is. We're forced to acknowledge that at any moment, it can just be lights out. It can be lights out at any moment. Whether someone else is doing, I had a friend who died of the Widowmaker, the heart attack that just stops you in his sleep with a young child. I think about him all the time. A friend who died of a stroke. I think of that lights out moment. And I think for the most part, people all digested what happened to Charlie Kirk in different ways. Some people cheered because they disagree with Charlie Kirk's ideology. I think that's rare. I think the folks that cheered immediately were pushed up the algorithm online because it was a crazy response. I think most people were like, dang, man, this is horrible. This is horrible stuff. This like political violence is like, it's like I've said before, you know, you just want to be the violinist on the Titanic playing until the ship goes down. And you feel that way about literally the empire known as the United States of America. This global market, you feel like it's all crashing. It's all burning because we're taking the worst of either side, the worst of the left, the worst of the right, and we're pitting them against each other versus the 99% of us that are all somewhere reasonably in the middle. And I don't mean in the middle like centrist ideas. I mean, most of us can get along at a dinner in the same room. Now, I don't want to strike up a conversation with someone if the font is too big on their hat. You know, I don't care where it says MAGA or Biden. If that's got size 64 font, I don't want to deal with it. I want to talk to reasonable people. And I think the world, and especially our country, is full of reasonable people. You're just not going to see them get boosted by the algorithm. So I'm with Dana White on this specific topic of free speech. We need more of it. We need to celebrate it. We need to know when people like the vice president is trying to divide us. We need to know when they're trying to use an opportune moment, just like after 9/11, the Patriot Act was actually used to spy on all of us. We need to know that in this opportune moment, they're going to try to label people certain things, try to strip away what rights, try to force us to hate each other. I don't think we hate each other. I come from a mixed political ideological family. I'm progressive. My family's still MAGA. I've been dealing with family arguments at Thanksgiving since I can remember. They're trying to kill Santa Claus. It ain't happy holidays. It's Merry Christmas. It's just like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. These aren't real fights. It's not real. I'll say that. I'm the violinist. I'll say that till the ship sinks. And tell you what, right now, my legs are getting a little wet, okay? The ship's going down. We can patch the hole. I think we can do it. And I try to make my channel be reasonable. You know I'm going to come at you with the take. You know I've got an opinion. But at the end of the day, I want other people to share theirs. Now, it doesn't mean every opinion you share, I'm going to respond to your DMs because I'm a human and I have to set boundaries. But you can go start a podcast. You can go share your thoughts. That's the great thing we have going on is we have the ability to all pick up our phone and share our opinion. Stop fighting with strangers online. Get out there and find solutions, and let's stop tearing shit down. Let's build it back up. And I've had people ask me about this. I've had people ask me about the farmer bailouts. So since, the tariff wars that have been created have caused so much problem in such a short amount of time, it's insane that Trump sort of tried to, start these, Trump tried to place these tariffs. And within like 8 short months, we already have government bailouts being talked about. So that's right. The soy farms specifically. Because of the tariff war, the crop is literally not worth anything anymore. Other countries are going to go to Brazil or other places to buy soy because it's cheaper there, because you want to charge 30% tariff. The other country is going to retaliate with 30%. It goes back and forth. It's a lose-lose for everybody. So now we're paying more at the grocery store. We're paying more for goods because of these tariffs. And tariffs are a tax on the importer, which is passed down to the consumer. We already know that like the average tariff is passed down like 90%. Yeah, maybe the company will eat a percentage point, but we are paying the tax. And now they want to bail out the farmers because the farmers can't sell their crops because of the tariff war. And now that means a bailout will be funded by our tax dollars. So we are getting royally effed on both sides of the deal. This is it. This is a failure. That's where we're at. An absolute failure. Now, do I want the farmers to receive bailouts? You're damn right I do. I want the farmers to receive bailouts just like I want the single mom to get food stamps because she's fallen on tough times. I want the farmers to know why they're getting bailouts because of the failed tariff policy. But I want farmers and inner city moms. I use inner city moms as an example. I was raised by a single mom who was on food stamps for a time, and I want them to realize they have more in common. The farmer, the mom, or dad trying to raise their kids with a little extra help from subsidies. I want us all to know that we're on the same side. And that it's not you versus me. It's not us versus them. It's the ultra wealthy spending money to lobby for different programs that'll cut the benefits that we need. We're the ones that need it. And the fact that they could just divide us so easily was shocking. But let's not let that be the final chapter. Let's realize and educate ourselves and come together and know that we can actually fund, if the tax dollars go into the appropriate place, we could fund the food stamps for those that need it and get them back on their feet. Because what's the point of having a broke, starving mom out there? How's that going to feed a child that's going to be, a good citizen in our country? It's just not. And at the same token, having a bunch of farmers go broke, they're just going to sell their land to some private equity firm. So that doesn't help out either. So we need to educate each other on what's getting us in this mess, and we need to vote for people that'll get us out of it. That's my thoughts. We'll be back this afternoon. We're here twice a day, every day. Pop culture, politics. Share us with a friend. We'll see you then. I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.